Hello, everyone. This is Benita G. Welcome to another episode of the Education Concierge Podcast. We're diving deep into a critical topic, the challenges faced by educators in fostering parent engagement. So, come in, sit down, grab a pen, a pencil, your laptop, take some notes, share, support, subscribe. Let's get into it. I'm going to cover a couple of reasons. So, let's talk about reason number one. Reason number one is the lack of communication channels. Come on. Like, why are we still doing stuff the old school way? We have Remind, we have WhatsApp, we have other things like Class Dojo that you can still send messages through. We have all of these things. So, why are we still trying to just simply call a parent, guardian, or their adults? Educators often feel it challenging to establish effective communication channels with parents, and this leads to the disconnect in understanding the student's holistic development. I can say without a doubt that the touch points that we talk about when we're saying we need to have three touch points with the parent before we talk to them about an issue or bring up a concern, that is essential in building that parent engagement bridge. Talk to them about their dreams. What do you want for your child? How do you think the school year should go? How were you in school? If you're still in the same school district, what did you feel like? How do we help you become a better parent at your end? And then how can you help us be better educators on this end? And how do we communicate? Think about their jobs, their careers, their lifestyles. A lot of parents now will simply like a text. They're at work. I've had parents that work for the government. They have to come in and lock their phones up. I have to email them, and then it has to be a quick email. Hello, this is Miss Gordon. Give me a call when you get a chance. And I have to put the number in there again because it's their work email. They can still get an email from me. If it's an emergency, I do have a phone number to call, but I know that that's for emergencies only. They have broken their foot, they are sick. That's emergency. So we have to go across and look at these barriers and then we have to eliminate them. And in saying that, we have to set boundaries. I have a Google Voice number. My parents have the Google Voice number. The students have the Google Voice number. It collects names, it collects their information, it tells me when they call. I don't answer the phone after a certain time. And even if my students text me, I just don't respond. They know that. The parents know that. You're free to leave a message, you're free to text me. I'll respond to you later on. And I may actually read it, but I won't respond because I have boundaries in place. So I want us to think about that. The number one reason that we're going to talk about today is the lack of communication channels. And when I say lack, there are plenty of communication channels. It's the lack of us using them. What's the most effective way? Many schools have one channel for all things. They use Remind, they will use WhatsApp, they will use GroupMe, and then they have like the sixth grade parents, the seventh grade parents, the cheerleader parents, the football parents, the volleyball parents, all of the things. That's another channel of communication. Hey, the buses are late. Hey, we're on the way back home. All of those things allow parents, guardians, and their adults to communicate effectively with you and to know what's going on with their child and or children. What's one of the modes and methods that you communicate with your parents? Is it a newsletter? Do you have a podcast? Do your students have a podcast? How do you communicate with your parents and get to them the things that they need? And then they're able to get to you the things that you need. Simple, simply here in South Florida. I remember my nieces and nephews and my sister, my brother-in-law, the hurricane was coming. They had to evacuate. It's been a couple of years now. But the teachers and the administrators were sending messages through Remind, checking on the students. It took them several days to get back after the hurricane back into school. And I thought it was amazing. It was a simple, hey, this is Miss So and so. I'm checking in on you. I want you to know me and my family are okay. How are you and your family? That's it. And then some of them was sending pictures about, this is what this is what our house looks like. We're not doing okay, or we're doing okay. We evacuated. This is where we are. We'll see you guys soon. So it doesn't have to be something long, it just has to be something that you need to do. Okay. The next reason, number two, cultural barriers. Sometimes that hinders how open or how our conversational dialogue happens. Cultural differences can inadvertently create misunderstandings and miscommunications, making it difficult for educators to establish trust and cooperation with parents from diverse backgrounds. Listen to me carefully. This is important. I remember the first time I dealt with a family, I was speaking to the mother. She never spoke to me. The father would always answer. Then I was like, wait a minute. I was not used to that. Cultural diversity. Culturally, they were just different, and I had to understand and I had to learn to understand how and who I needed to communicate with. I always would send an email or a text and have both parents and guardians on there if they were both listed, but then only one parent or guardian would respond. Cultural differences mean a lot of things. So you have to understand the students in your class and get to know their parents, guardians, or their adults. Okay? Get to know them. And I don't mean like you going to the club and y'all out partying. When I say get to know them, once we understand their communication style, we all can communicate effectively to benefit the child and children in your classroom, in the school community. And finally, our number three reason revolves around time constraints. Come on now. I do not have time to answer your phone call. I'm at work. So am I. I don't have time to respond to your text. I'm at work. So am I. I don't have time to respond to the newsletter or the email or the poll, or all of the things. I'm busy. So am I. So, what we want to do is in today's fast paced world, both educators and parents struggle to find time for meaningful interaction, often resulting in a limited understanding of the student's progress and challenges. We now know that we have to find the time to communicate. And I always tell my parents, give me 24 hours. And I expect the same thing from them. Sometimes I give them 2 days and then I might send a reminder. But give me 24 hours because remember, middle school, high school, everybody, we teach over 100 some kids. If 10 parents reach out, that's a lot. Give me 24 hours. I'm going to respond. And sometimes my response is, I'm checking on this. I'm going to get back to you. That is a response. That is my response. That is me letting you know that I'm working on it and I'm going to get back to you. Sometimes my response is, you should be able to pull that up in the portal. Here's how you can go into the portal. Because that might be all you need. I don't need to sit there and walk you through it. Sometimes my response is, I, I'm going to text all three of you, including the student. So he or she, they or them, can show you how to log into the portal, or they're going to use their portal so that you can see. And it's that simple. So today's session is a solo session. It's just with me. We've been talking about parent engagement and how we can drive it. So it's a critical topic, but how can we drive it so that we can overcome the challenges we face as educators in fostering parent engagement? So I want to wrap up. I hope these insights shed light on the complexities surrounding parent engagement in education. Remember to stay tuned for more engaging discussions on the Education Concierge podcast. My name is Benita G, and I'll talk to you guys later, where we will have more conversations about education.